The National Weather Service uses a variety of information to give people advance notice of a severe weather potential. This tiered layer of information consists of outlooks, watches, and warnings. This brief video will give you introduction to this informational suite. The initial heads up oftentimes given for a potential winter storm or severe weather in the area comes in the form of an outlook. These outlooks give days in advance notice for things like winter storms, but as much as 1 to 3 days in advance of potential severe thunderstorm outbreak. They come in a graphical form, which will often highlight a section of the country like this where there is a severe weather risk potential, and a written or text form that oftentimes is more local instructional advice for what type of hazards are expected out to as much as 7 days. Now, when it looks like severe weather is a bit more likely, could form or move into the area, there is oftentimes a watch issued for sections of the states. This highlights the potential for severe weather, not necessarily imminent, but there is a potential in the next 1 to 4 hours of severe weather to move through your area. And of course, you can see we're talking about a much smaller geographic area. On the other hand, warnings are issued at the local level when severe weather is imminent or is expected to produce some kind of life-threatening hazard. Warnings may give as much as 10 to 60 minutes of advance notice, but sometimes severe weather can still strike with very little or no warning. The warnings, again, are usually issued for just sections of a county on a relatively small scale, especially when you compare it to things like a watch or the much larger outlook. Now, focusing on the graphical version of these outlooks, issued by the Storm Prediction Center, they encompass a today or day 1 area, a day 2 or tomorrow, and a day 3 or the next day after tomorrow. And again, these areas highlight the potential of severe weather in 3 different categories: slight, moderate, or high risks. To show you some examples of past graphical outlooks, here is a case from April of 2011 where we had a moderate to high area of severe weather potential in the southeastern and eastern parts of the United States. And here is the verification, with the red dots being tornadoes, the wind being damaging wind reports, and the green dots being large hail reports. May 22nd of 2011 also saw a significant severe weather outbreak, especially in our area, and including a large devastating tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri. It incorporates a large area of a moderate outlook, and you can see all of the severe weather across the country that day. March 2nd of 2012, another big high-risk day, and you can see all the severe weather that was reported. Now, sometimes the highest outlooked area, like this example where a moderate was in effect, does not always hit the areas where there was some sporadic severe weather reports. And there are times when, again, we may just be in a slight risk with a moderate risk elsewhere, and yet we see a fairly large area of severe weather reports. One last example here from September of 2012 shows the slight risk and all of the severe weather that occurred in our region of the country. Now, the written version of this, local hazardous weather outlook, is created each morning by our forecast staff at the National Weather Service office in La Crosse and updated sometimes several times a day as information warrants. This outlook goes out to as much as 7 days in advance, is available on our website via NOAA Weather Radio, and can also be emailed to you. On our websites, if you click on the Outlooks link along the left-hand column, you'll see this web page, which incorporates links to our local hazardous weather outlook, in addition to thumbnails of the severe weather convective graphical outlooks for day 1 or today, day 2 tomorrow, or day 3 the day after tomorrow. One quick word about warnings. Again, warnings are typically issued for the storm scale, which may incorporate just sections of a county, as exampled here in May 22nd of 2011, where you see red parallelograms or boxes highlighting storm-based tornado warnings that just incorporated a small areas of counties, and much larger yellow or severe thunderstorm warnings, but you can see how those also were laid out as these storms moved through the region. And something new in 2013 is an additional piece of information where we'll be tagging on to the end of our tornado warnings more specifically to provide some extra basis and projected size or impact of the tornado to our media and emergency management partners. These impact-based warnings will have threat tags that may say considerable damage expected or catastrophic damage if confidence is high in a very large tornado.